Hello, and today I'm going to show you how to make the pizza sauce for the deep dish pizza that you're going to be making. And this sauce is really, really good. It tastes like common pizza sauce. The one unique aspect of this sauce is that the onion in it is actually grated, so it's not going to be as like a chunky sauce. It does have some tomato chunks, but it's not as predominant with onion flavoring. So we're going to get started. So the first thing you're going to do is I've mise en place all my ingredients. I've grated my onion. All right. You just need about a half of a small onion grated, and I just use my grater. If you don't have a grater, you can mince it really, 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 really small. It actually brings out some of the juice of it, and you need in total about 3 tablespoons of the grated onion. Yellow onion will work best. Then you're gonna need some salt, oregano, and red pepper, which I have right here. And then you're going to need 2 cloves of minced garlic, which I have here. And then you're going to need a little sugar to cut down on the acidity from the tomatoes. And then we're using 14 ounces of crushed tomatoes. I took mine from a large can. So this is what they look like. You can use diced tomatoes. Just kind of crush them up a little bit more when you get them in like a bowl. You can also use tomato sauce. It won't have any chunk to it. All right. And then we're going to start by actually adding butter. So a lot of times you add oil to, saute your vegetables up or whatever, your onion. But in this case, we're going to be adding butter, which gives a different dimension of flavor. All right. So I have that going in my pan. So you can see that there. All right. So we're going to just melt this up, and I have it on a medium heat. All right. As soon as that starts melting, just want to make sure it's completely melted, and then we're going to add our onion. All right. So what you would do is you make your dough, let it rise, and then in the meantime, you would make your sauce because you want it completely cooled before you would assemble. All right, so my butter is pretty much melted. You can kind of see it's bubbling. So now we're ready to add our onion. All right, and it kind of sizzles. And this is honestly the best way I think to cut our onion, because it goes really fast. It gets pretty soft, and then it pretty much the flavor dissolves within the pizza sauce. So I thought this was a pretty clever method for the onion. All right, to that, we are going to add in our salt, our oregano, and our red pepper flakes. All right, obviously, if you were doing this at home, you wanted to do a different mix, you absolutely can. Instead of oregano, you could do basil. If you didn't have oregano, you could also do fresh oregano. You could do Italian seasonings. And the red pepper flake is just for a little kick. If you don't want to have kick, then don't add the red pepper flake. And you're just going to cook this for, it says about 5 minutes in the recipe. But you want to just make sure that some of the onions are really cooking off. You can see they're already kind of shriveling down, becoming translucent. This is just an abundance of flavor. And a lot of times students, and I know I say this all the time, do not like onion. And I get it. A lot of people don't like onion, but the onion is the base of the flavor in almost every savory dish, especially soup sauces. So you really want to make sure you do have that onion in small amounts, and you cook it off the raw flavor really well. And it's going to leave a nice rustic palate on your tongue. All right. To this, we are going to add in our garlic, and I just have 2 cloves that I've minced, fresh garlic. All right. Again, if you like a lot of garlic, then simply add more garlic. Or if you don't like as much garlic, don't add as much. If you don't have fresh garlic, you can use garlic powder. Don't do garlic salt, or it's going to be way too salty. All right. So I would not substitute garlic salt for fresh garlic. Garlic powder would be the best substitute for that. Smells absolutely amazing. Very Chicago Italian-like. All right. And then we're going to add in our crushed tomatoes, 14 ounces. So when I measured this, I didn't use like a digital scale. It's liquid ounces. So I just went up to the 14 mark. if you were to go to the store, they commonly sell crushed tomatoes in 28-ounce containers, which is what I have here. This is a 28-ounce container. So you just kind of use half of it if you didn't have some, measuring utensil. And this is pretty much the perfect amount of sauce for your deep dish pizza. And this is actually a copycat recipe of Luminati sauce. The whole recipe is a Luminati's copycat, but this sauce really is very similar to it. All right, so the last thing we're going to add in is our sugar, which is going to cut down on the acidity in that tomato sauce or the crushed tomatoes. And now we're kind of just going to let this simmer to reduce down. You want to get it kind of thick. And the only way to get it thick is to let it cook. Do not put a lid on it because what happens is more moisture will come. All right. So you just kind of let it cook. You can keep stirring it. You don't have to. And then when it's done, you're going to let it cool. If you're not going to assemble immediately, obviously put it on an ice bath. If you are going to assemble pretty quickly after, you can store it, whatever it works best for you. All right. If you're a hybrid student, you are going to make this one day and then obviously store it. So when you're at home, you can decide whatever you want. All right. So I hope you enjoy. Thank you.